trial since the May 22nd, and this is week 6 of the trial. And today we have two gentlemen from University of China with us to tell us a little bit about what happened today. And before we start talking about today, we will give everyone a little bit recap on what happened the last 2 hours of Friday, because the English program started early and we have the extension last week until 5 p.m. of the trial. So let's welcome Saturn and Phil. And so let's just start with how is Miles, because I haven't gone to the court today. You can tell me how is Miles and how is everyone? Is a lot of people in the court today?
Yeah, I mean, Miles always doing good as usual, and I mean, there's a lot of people from different states, a lot of supporters that came to the court today, and Miles will smile to everybody before the course started.
Yeah, and also I think Miles has really have the same energy throughout the course of the trial. He's staying very energetic, and you can see he's very good spiritually and mentally, just from how sharp his eyes look every day.
For sure.
And especially I know for him, because being that he is currently undergoing trial for already 6 weeks, and being also the fact that he has been staying in MDC for such an extended period of time,
right.
It's really good to see how he has continued to uphold this sort of energy, and you can kind of begin to see why Miles has always been steadfast in the mission of taking down the CCP and bringing justice and the rule of law for the Chinese people, and and it is do that every day. I think it gets us going whenever we are moving on through the trial. And especially when we don't know what witnesses, arguments they're going to bring to the court, and I think, that type of spirit that he has is really contagious to everybody there.
For sure, I was gonna say his energy always contagious through the whole room. It spreads out from person to person, and we always feel the energy in the room, and then it stays with us, and so the whole day, no matter how tired everyone is, and it's a very long day. And I just want to emphasize one point that Miles is the #1 enemy of the Chinese Communist Party, this is very important for everyone to follow, and this is not only when this case ends, it's not only going to expose the evilness of the Chinese Communist Party, it also is going to show the American people the infiltration that the Chinese Communist Party has done to America. And to this day, Miles has never pleaded guilty, and I want to really emphasize this point to everyone who's watching the show and follow us, since the day one of the trial.
Yeah, and also for the viewers out there, if you guys have any questions, please do feel free to leave it in the live chat. We are keeping an eye on the live chat as we proceed in the show. So if there's anything you would like to get a little bit more clarity on, please do feel free to drop us a question, and then we would try our best to clarify and clear up any confusions you might have during the show.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Saturn. So before we start about today, let's do a little bit recap of Friday. So I think Phil was there until the end, right? So they were questioning witness number 27, Jesse Brown, which is the former CEO of Himalaya Exchange.
Yeah.
Right, and then I believe they finished the cross-examination on Friday, right?
Yeah, they finished. And I mean, I'm not on the show last Friday, so I don't know where you guys end. But last Friday, actually, it's pretty amazing. Jesse Brown testified a lot of things relevant with the Himalaya Exchange. He also testified about the heat wallet, the cold wallet, why there's a credit system that show up in the Himalaya Exchange instead of just the open blockchain crypto. So he speak a lot during the cross-examination. We're actually the defense team lawyer Sabrina Scosher, my bad.
Yes.
Scosher. He actually just asked the question step by step, just to attack each point that the Jesse trying to express. So first of all, why all the crypto or the credit, what they said, it's in one wallet. That's only because on a white paper book that the Himalaya Exchange released before lunch, it shows we're gonna start with the credit system, with HDO credit system, HCN credit system, instead of just putting all the crypto on the blockchain. So, and that's why all the crypto will only hold by Himalaya Exchange's wallet, and it is a centralized exchange
yes.
like the Coinbase. So, and Scotcher actually asked about what's happening with the same situation in Coinbase. Actually, Jesse said it's actually the same. Like they will hold certain different type of cryptocurrency in their own wallets, and people will trade inside the wallet. So there will not show up any trade history outside or on the blockchain. So it's not traceable.
Because it's a little bit private, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit private.
I remember they mentioned that with the off-chain transactions, there's less expensive, right?
Yes.
It happens quicker as well.
Yeah.
And then I think this is the one point that's being brought up in the cross-examination, which the government didn't want to mention. You know, there's reasons to have this transaction off the chain. And then later on, J.C. Brown also admitted.
Yeah.
And also, this witness is not an expert at cryptocurrency, right? And he's not in computer science. Made like a degree, and then he's
not graduated.
Yeah,
from that,
that's right. And it's everything is based on his understanding and his involvement with Himalaya Exchange. Yeah.
Yes. Well, the most funny thing is like when they talk about the launch of Himalaya Exchange, he actually testified that everybody in the team are making so much efforts to push that to be online, and supposedly there will be a launch at 10 a.m. But you know, there's a lot of technical issue happen, and after they passed all the issue to one super developer, and they solved. The launch actually happened at I forgot 10 p.m. or 11 p.m.
at
night.
Yeah,
sometime in the evening, and you know, William G. He testified. William G. was so pissed off at the time, and he was so impressive of that because I think he pissed off to Jesse Brown too. So actually, it's not what the government trying to image that this is a fraud. This is not even a professional exchange. This is there's no license or something.
Right.
Well, actually, it's really qualified.
And I remember they were
time.
trying to build this exchange in BVI, right?
Yes.
And then and when by the time when they abandoned this project in BVI, I remember him saying it's in a mature stage.
Yes, because the failure of sandbox application. That doesn't mean like people or the Himalaya Exchange people trying to put money in BVI to avoid some issue. It's only because there's more better tax policy and financial policy right there. But after like the sandbox application failed, like nobody doing illegal job there, they actually swifted to the Middle East, right? Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
So that's what's happening.
Yeah. So do you think that the cross-examination have really well done by Scott Sheriff, our defense lawyer, that backed up, where just they get back to each of the arguments that the government and where image the government trying to paint? Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think Scott Sheriff smashed it. Killed it. Yeah, like Jesse said, killed it. Yeah, he pointed out every single point that the government always trying to portray into a fake frame. Actually, even the credit system, the government mentioned in 2 or 3 different witnesses' testimony. They always try to say, oh, the credit system is not what they say, and the 20% gold is not actually happening. But after the cross-examination of Jesse Brown, actually Jesse exposed that the Himalaya Exchange, they had a meeting before, but even before lunch, they tried to use 10% backup gold happening, but there's a large fee going on right there, and the regulation issue and the legal issue, it's happening there. And So that's why they cannot make it happen before the lunch. But people in the exchange, they always keep trying on that. It doesn't mean it's not gonna happen. According to the white paper, there is a different phase, different period.
There's phases,
step by step. So that's what's happening.
I think that's the key thing to look at here, and why it's important to also consider the fact that this is a relatively new company, and something as complicated as cryptocurrency, especially when there's so much aspects to the design of it that we're trying to integrate. I think it just really, you have to give it more time. It's too early to judge based off of what they have done so far, as opposed to what they have in store in their plans and their efforts along the way to, I guess, achieve some of these objectives that they have set forth. And these are also all documented for in the white papers. So I think that was one very important thing to point out.
For sure.
Especially I think in regards to some of the past testimonies too. I think that's also something we have to take into account is that the G series is relatively new. It's just something we also have to keep in mind. That's always there in the background whenever we consider looking at some of these testimonies, and it's also a very important aspect. And that's why I think it's a very good cross-examination, because it does point out, because I do remember he did take some time to explain what is a blockchain, and the private and non-private versus public. So because of the fact that this witness is not an expert in cryptocurrency, so this is where we kind of need a little bit of expert knowledge for the jurors, obviously, because I think even outside of that, cryptocurrencies are very relatively new. So to the jurors, if they don't research into it, they don't look into it, they might not really know a lot of the background information. So which is why it is important for Miles' legal team to kind of paint the whole pictures and give them more background information to make the information more understandable and digestible. And I think that is what they have done all along the way, and to be able to do it in a very relatively short period of time, I think is excellent. Because let's face it, to learn a lot of these concepts, it takes time, and to be able to quickly allow the other person to understand the points they're trying to convey, some of the more intricate details of cryptocurrencies. I think this is something that they've done a very good job on.
Do you remember how many phases this Himalaya exchange has gone to?
I remember they actually only showed one page of the white paper. There's phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. I remember there's a phase 4. But it really described how we're gonna start it with a credit system, and then moves into HPay, that it's all off-chain, off-chain trade. So
For
that's
sure. Like Saturn said, you need to give the startup company a little bit more time to let it to build into the estimated value, to build into this the potential that they have. And then if you don't allow it to grow, and then you just cut it off, and then you can't say this is a scam or this is not, because what we've done so far, it's only the beginning of it. And also, I remember they mentioned HPay. That was being launched in phase 3, I believe, because I read a transcript. HPay allows you to do transaction domestically and abroad, right? And there's a lot of options, and I'm not exactly sure what they mentioned about HPay, but they did mention that they gone to phase 3. It was pretty awesome. So thank you so much for the little bit recap on Friday. So before the court start today, did the judge or the both attorneys mention anything regarding the schedule, regarding the witnesses, regarding anything else that's related to the court? So
actually we got a lot of new information today prior to the trial. One of the things that we did learn today is that on the defense's side, Miles' side, there are about 11 witnesses, and also on the prosecution side, the government side, they are planning to go through 2 medium-length testimonies today and 2 short-lengths. But today I think we only were able to see 2. Okay. And because of the fact that they still have quite a number of witnesses they need to get through, 11 is a lot. So what they are planning to do is extend the trial date for tomorrow to 5 p.m. again, and they did plan to do that for Wednesday as well. but some of the jury members weren't able to make the time for it because of some other commitments they might have. Wednesday and Thursday will be regular schedule, and next week we will have to wait to see what the schedule will be like for next week, if it will be extended or not, just because that there is quite a number of witnesses they still need to get through. And we also get a little bit of a look on some of the witnesses today prior to the trial. They kind of gave us a sneak peek at that.
Do you know how many of them are like government witnesses, and there's anyone that's from like non-government witness?
Well, non-government witnesses, there's about 11, and then
I mean like for the government, there's how many left for the government?
They mentioned they wanted to go to 4 today.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 medium length ones and 2 short ones.
Okay.
But today so far we've only seen 2 as
Two,
of the time.
yeah.
As of the time we had left the court. So there might potentially be more, but I'm not too sure because I believe the trial has already concluded for the day.
For today. Okay.
Yeah.
Did they mention anything about Miles, the possibility for Miles testifying in court?
Yeah, they actually, defense team's lawyer actually mentioned the team will have either 11 or 12 witnesses. So I think the last one, the 12th, it's probably the Miles himself. So they didn't decide it yet, but it's still in consideration. Yeah.
Okay. In consideration? Do
Yeah.
you know like what's taken part of this consideration?
There's so many factors that gonna make it change. So first, it will see how's it going with the first maybe 5 to 6 witnesses, and if it's going good or it doesn't need Miles to come out to testify no more, maybe just 11 in total.
Okay.
But if there's something happened that really not good for Miles' team, maybe Miles will come out and do the testify. So it really depends. There's still a lot of different reasons.
Yeah, and I think they also mentioned that if Miles does testify, it may take a little bit longer than the other individuals, just because there's a lot of he did a lot of broadcasts in the past, so there's a lot of footage that I think they wanted to maybe go through, just because they wanted to present it in court, and I think that's one of the main reasons why, like, if he does choose to testify, they might need a more extended period of time than some of the other witnesses that we have seen so far.
Yeah.
For sure. Is there anything else before that we can jump into the witness finally?
Well, for today's second witness, Skaka, or maybe I'm not good at pronunciation. Right. Well, the government trying to have a stipulation with defense team to put some draft contract as evidence.
Okay.
And the only thing defense team object on that because it's not similar to Limarie Reyes. Limarie actually worked in G Club, but for this witness, he's relevant with the bankruptcy court, but himself, he's not looked upon. So he's actually not getting in touch with those first-hand contract, even the draft. So that's what they're argue against.
Okay. Hold on a moment. So that's the second witness been brought up in court today, right?
Yeah.
The 29th.
29th.
Okay.
But this discussion took place before the trial began.
Before trial
begins. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Sounds.
So I think they already have the stipulation.
They already have stipulation.
Yes.
Did you see it in court when that witness came up?
We actually saw some draft contract show up as evidence today before I leave.
I think it was we've seen before too as a draft contracts being like shown as a stipulation, and then from the government, right?
Yes.
Government's witness stipulation where they show the contract with only one party signature, or without a signature.
Or without a
signature.
Yeah.
Okay. So after Jesse Brown, that's 27th, and then we have the 28th today.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us about a little bit who is this person and who does he work for, and like some highlights about the arguments and the direct examination?
Yes. So this first witness for today, her name is Amy Buck. So she is a real estate attorney for, if I don't remember wrong, for 23 years. Yeah. She is a real well-experienced real estate attorney, and what she did in part of this case is she used to help to be the third-party escrow account trust fund holder to help to pay the invoice of the Mawa renovation, to help to go through all the info from the different furniture company. That's basically how she involved, and the whole trial, whole process of her is just go through all the things she know.
Yeah. So just a couple points I'd like to elaborate is that
Sure.
she is licensed in New Jersey, which is where the Mawa and the NFSE Mawa home base is located at, and she had played a role in the purchase of the mansion itself. And even after they were done with the mansion, she, like Phil said, she handled some of the invoicing that was required, because this mansion was this came up in cross-examination later, but this mansion is relatively old because it's a mansion.
Yes.
It's a mansion. It has a lot of history to it.
Yes.
So a lot of renovation and stuff needed to take place. So I think that was why a lot of the invoicing had took place. And this also speaks to some of the evidence they tried the evidence that showed up during the direct examination from the government side. There was a lot of invoices and a lot of emails that was being shown with dollar amounts for asking for renovations to be made, asking for let's say decorative pieces to be purchased.
Right.
And she also emphasized that these invoicing would happen a couple times in the day, even just because. And you have to understand, I think the reason why it had to happen a couple of times is that the building is under renovation after it's just purchased, and it's not just renovation, it's also construction, stuff that's being integrated into the building.
Right.
And you need to get this stuff worked on pretty much as soon as possible if it really is an issue, or you need to get stuff ready, because this place is intended for G Club members. So I mean we can't really wait on stuff, right? They have to once they buy it, they can't really just sit it there. They have to work on it to be able to provide the services at a much earlier time. So I think through this witness, a lot of the evidence that was being shown, I mean, it has just been emails being shown today with this witness, but showing how much was being spent on construction. I guess who was requesting for some of these invoicings to be conducted. So I think that's a general overview of what this witness what this witness did in the past.
Right.
In regards to her time working with some of the entities.
Yeah.
Do you want to add something that she said that we think it's important to tell?
Well, yeah, actually, a lot of details. The government trying to portray again today,
Right.
like
the
before.
Intention.
Yeah,
What's
the intention.
main arguments?
Like the logic from the government side, it's very obvious, because they trying to let people think, okay, this is a mansion. It's supposedly be the G Club's investment funds. It's from the G Club funds. It just goes through a different company. This one to the next one to the other one, and then, okay, you guys bought the mansion back in, if I don't remember, early 2021?
Yeah, 21.
21, yeah. And then, what's happened next? Last week, the witness showed some documents that there's a lease agreement that's signed by Miles' wife. And this week, this witness actually shows a lot of renovation information. That some of them, so first it's 26 million in the closing deal, and then the renovation cost 18 million in total. So it's gonna be like around 44 million. And then there's a lot of paperwork shows there's some request that they want to change inside the house for the interior parts. It says son's wings, daughter's wings, so something like that, and the ladies laundry room.
Right.
Yeah, something like that. They're trying to portray there is a family that really live in there.
I did see that document as well on
Yeah.
Friday. So do you know who made that document, or is this
Actually, it's attachment. I think it's attachments from the email that
Okay.
from either Sean, Gladys, or Scott
Okay.
to the vendor. Actually, they
label
raise
the
up
room.
okay. Yeah.
Then they give each room like a label. Then they send it to the vendor and
Yes. To see how they're gonna knock out this wall and do some decoration on that part.
Right.
Something like that, but they just put it out and say, you see, there's a son, there's a daughter right there. So it means
and there's also a master.
yeah, the masters and the expensive mattress, expensive TVs, and the connect with the photos from last week. There's a slippers, there's a clothes, personal stuff, items. So they're trying to see, you see, there's a personal, maybe there's one family just living there.
But this document is not offered to be the truth, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of documents has been offered in court. They're not necessarily the truth, but they just exist because for this matter.
Well, I'll put it simply is, these rooms are named, maybe master bedroom, daughter's bedroom, so on and so forth. It may be just the way it's labeled in the floor plans or however it may be. They just focus on the fact and they just focus on the fact that room is called that.
Yes.
So that's the picture they're trying to paint.
That their intention is to, they're trying to paint that the intention for the house is for personal use. Right.
And what we saw wasn't really a floor plan. What we saw was just kind of a list of...
A list,
yes.
Yes.
I think that was very similar to what we saw last week.
Okay.
Yeah, because during the cross-exam on this part, the defense attorney, Sabrina, actually asked the witness if you actually know the family, who's the family, how many people in the family, how many family behind the terrorist fund that she testified. And if she said she doesn't know at all those questions. And then when Sabrina asked her, so do you know the family actually have a son that lived in U.S. Gonna use this mention. So basically, if the son's bedroom is gonna used for Miles' son, but like you has to be in America. But actually, Miles' son is never in the U.S. recently, in the near past, right?
Decades
in the past couple of years.
Yeah, past couple of years at least. So that's
and this is recent too. I mean, 21. That's only a couple years back.
And it was also the peak of pandemic.
Right.
There's a lot of travel restrictions as well.
Yes. And when they speak about the terrorist fund, actually there is a couple different company all called terrorist fund. There is a terrorist fund LLC. This is the company actually on the title of the Mawa Mansion, and the terrorist fund management, and there is a terrorist fund. SP, I think investment SP. So
just to backtrack and clarify a little bit for the viewers, like this is the Taurus fund that we just mentioned. That's the company that on paper owns the Mawa.
Okay.
Mawa
it's the
mansion.
Company,
Right. Yeah.
And then this is the lease. It's between the company and the personal, right?
I think it's company and company.
Company and company.
Okay.
There's nothing. There's no personal.
There's no personal.
Involved.
Right.
And the terrorist fund LLC is a subsidiary of the terrorist management.
Right.
And then
and LLC used to be I don't know about used to be, but there's also another one called SP that was originally on the first draft. Actually,
the team trying to use the SP to purchase on the as the name on title, but according to the New Jersey law, it doesn't work. It just simply doesn't work because you cannot use the SP to be on the title. So that's why the team registered two new company. One is the LLC and one is the management.
Thank you, Phil. Just so before we continue for the last half of our show, I just want to mention about our social media. So I'll give the door gets a little water break. So I'll just quickly bring up our social media accounts on X. You can follow us on X, NFSC Speak. We give live posts and updates every single day of the trial day. What's happening at the time. And also we send out a lot of posts and then the latest news and information regarding Miles' trial and other updates are important. So please follow us on X. And also for official government transcript documents, you can look it up on nfscofficial.com. And there's the top bar, it shows court documents or court case documents. You can click on that and it shows the complete list of official government documents and transcripts as well, both offered in English and Chinese. And you can, if you want to look into detail and are interested, you can please go on the website and to have more insights. So let's get back to our show, and let's continue to talk about this witness and then some of the main arguments brought up by the government and how the defense team get back at each arguments.
Yeah. So let's pick up the thing we just talked about. So they ask about the government actually during the direct examination. They ask about when the deal closed, like actually when they finished the deal to purchase the Mao mansion. It's December 17th. 2021. And then the two company actually register 1 and 2 days before the deal closed.
Okay.
So they're trying to see, you see they actually rush on the deal. And then why they using the escrow account to pay all these invoices, it's only because they don't want to put the money in their own account. And like something like that they're trying to portray it. But during the cross-examinations, actually, they reviewed, the witness reviewed that actually it's the seller trying to close the deal so bad, and it's not the buyer.
And if you look at the date too, December 17th, that's only days away from Christmas.
Yes.
And that was a factor for the seller to actually rush the buyer into buying the place. And also, I think just to add on to what Phil said, this place, the Crocker Mansion, as it was originally called, it is on the market for over a decade.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think its market price used to be listed for 35 million.
39 million.
Right.
Yeah, 39 million, and look at the price it was sold for, 26 million.
26.
So you could start to see the drastic drop in price and how. Let's put one and one together, right? The price dropped because you want to sell something, and you want to sell something because it's on the market for a very extended period of time. So you can get to see through these details that there is a urgency in the seller to actually find a buyer and make the buyer buy,
For sure.
and to not make the buyer buy, but make sure that they are able to sell it quickly, just to move ahead in that matter. And I think that information of the fact that the mansion was on the market for over a decade, I think that that information was not known to this witness. I believe she only know that it was there for a extended period of time,
right.
But not to the extent of it being over a decade.
Right, and then she knows that there's a rush, right, to make the deal happen.
Right.
They're trying to make the deal happen. And also during the direct examination, actually Scott's name, Scott Barnett, is actually Mr. Miles' security. His name mentioned a couple times. I mean a lot, actually.
Yeah, quite a number of times.
Yeah. So why is that? Do you know?
Yeah, I think this is only my personal opinion, because in the past couple witness. The government trying to let the jury think Scott is Mr. Miles' personal security, and also Scott his name is on the Terrace Fund LLC. Oh, sorry, management. It's the parent company of the title company.
As a manager.
And also he actually did a lot of job to put the security system into the mansion. So they might want to let people think that it's Mr. Miles' personal security, and do the security system in the house, and they spend a lot of money to doing that, to accomplish that, and then for their personal use. That's probably the thing they're trying to portray. But during the cross-examination, is actually defense team lawyer Sabrina actually pointed out that you never know how many family behind that. You don't know what's the culture of Chinese people, what they call family. So there might be so many brothers and sisters together.
For sure.
And then so Scott actually did a lot with a company called Preventinus, I think. Yeah, that's actually security system company, and all the thing, it's only for the security system because that's a big mansion and need a large amount of the security camera to put in. So that's basically Sabrina's point. Yeah.
And it's also important to point out that this is a mansion after all, and there's a lot of corners of the houses you want to keep eyes on. So
there's
it's not
3 or
about
4 floors, right? And
right.
Yeah, and then the big yard, and there's a lot of places
Yes.
that can
It's hard to manage.
Yeah,
it's hard to
yeah,
manage.
hard to manage. Yeah, for sure.
And so and also Sean's name, Sean Jing. This name mentioned quite numbers of time.
I remember he was kind of in charge of the mansion and
Yes.
then the management of it.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Yeah, during the time he was basically concentrate to help to renovate the whole mansion, and he did a lot of job. Why they mentioned him? Because Sean's email is actually not G Club's email, and it's and his address sometimes on the bill is just some it's just a mention address. So there's nothing show that Sean it's a G series staff.
Okay.
But during the cross-examination, Sabrina just pointed out, do you know Sean worked at G Club at the time? And actually, back in the time, Sean indeed worked at G Club. And the reason, he doesn't use the G Club email, there's a various reason that could prove.
Yes.
You don't have to use the working email to connect everything.
Right. You don't need to have, because of not having the work email doesn't mean you don't work there or some sort.
Yeah,
right?
and people could have 2 different jobs at the same times.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So when Sabrina asked about those information, the witness actually doesn't know anything at all. And even in the end, Sabrina shows a clip, a screenshot of the Miles live stream clip, and Miles was there, and the background was the bookshelf, the bookcase,
with the Buddha.
which they mentioned in the direct examination a couple times. It's an expensive bookcase, and it's from the Connecticut home, something like that. And when Sabrina asked the witness who this guy is, she doesn't even know that's Miles. She doesn't even know that's Miles. And when she asked about the bookcase, she doesn't even relate to the bill she paid.
Okay.
And also when Sabrina asked about the moving bill, there's a certain item that they used to try to move from the Connecticut to the mansion. Sabrina just asked her, do you know if the items are already purchased, or it just moved from the mansion, or it's just some new stuff they just get it? She doesn't know one way to another. So she doesn't know about the items. She doesn't know who's Miles Guo. She doesn't know G Club. She doesn't know G Fashion. She doesn't know there is a G Fashion. There might be a G Fashion office in the Mall Mansion. She doesn't even know there's any office that in the Mall Mansion.
Right.
So that's the point.
Okay. Seems like she's really focused on her own work
Yes.
without knowing anything else about
Yeah.
the whole process of anything.
Yeah.
And just to build upon that, she actually has never been to the mansion itself either.
Okay.
Yeah.
And another point I want to point out too is the fact that she actually has received a subpoena from I believe the bankruptcy case.
Bankruptcy.
Yeah, and which we will get to with the next witness.
For sure.
So there will be more clarity for the viewers.
So you think that this witness and next witness are somehow connected,
Yeah.
right?
It
yeah,
is.
Okay.
I believe so, but I think from where we left off for the next witness, we might need a little bit more from the testimony for the next witness to see if they are trying to connect the two together. But the one thing I'd like to point out in the subpoena she received is that they actually did mention Miles's name in that subpoena, and when she was questioned on, do you know who this person is, she said, no, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she doesn't know who's this person's its name that appeared on her subpoena.
Right.
Okay.
But it was mentioned that one of the point of contacts that she had mentioned the new federal state of China to her, but she obviously didn't give it too much thought, or because she doesn't remember what the new federal state of China is called.
Yes.
I believe she called it as the Federalist Party of China or something.
Yeah. Because it's not on her interest point area.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. So she was never involved in anything regarding the movement or
Yeah, actually, when the terrorist fund and herself get a subpoena, Aaron is the point of contact. Aaron Mitchell. Aaron Mitchell. He actually trying to talk to her about the new federal state of China, and the government doesn't like the family.
Okay.
And she just simply doesn't interested in this topic, so she didn't even ask.
She okay, I see.
Because it's simple, right? You say something and it catches your interest. What is the first thing you're gonna do? You're gonna ask the person to elaborate.
Yes.
And second is you're gonna look it up on your own. She didn't do that, so I think it's like you said, she just focused on handling the invoices in her part of the job.
Okay.
And she's not even clear about what the government referred to. The government doesn't like the family. Like, what's the government referred to? Is this CCP or American government, U.S. government? She doesn't know. And in the redirect examination, Mr. Ferguson actually asked her, do you know where the subpoena from? Do you know what is SEC? And something relevant with that. And is SEC from the Chinese government or the American government? Yeah, that's something really, really funny. Yeah, trying to relate to the U.S. government.
I think another detail I would like to just finalize on the subpoena part is that she did receive some type of help, getting legal assistance to take care of this matter. I don't from what I remember, I don't think she was left to handle that alone. There was assistance given to her by some of the point of contacts that she had at the time.
Right.
They're given by the G clubs or by.
I don't remember specifically which company, but she was provided financial assistance and just assistance to be able to have a legal assistance to be able to sort this matter out.
Okay.
So I think that may be one of the because what she did testify saying is that she received the subpoena and then her point of contact, Aaron Mitchell, said that's the cost of doing business. But I think there was something interesting why they chose to use that phrase. But in the end, it wasn't like she was not offered assistance. She was offered assistance to be able to work through this subpoena.
So it seems like she's like the only little puzzle piece of this whole puzzle that's presented to the jury, right?
Yeah.
And it's one of the puzzle that's the government wants to show that's what they know is to be true, but then actually there's a whole other part that she doesn't know, doesn't realize, and she doesn't.
There's just too little of it.
Too little, yes.
I think that's a common theme with a lot of witnesses where during their direct examination, you feel like they have a lot of details to give, but once they get cross-examined, you begin to realize there's a lot of missing pieces to the story.
There are a lot of detail they think they're given, a lot of opinions they think they're given. Those they insinuating things to the jury and to everyone else.
Yes.
For sure. Do you want to get into the next witness and talk about who that person is and how it's connected to the case?
Yes. Actually, the next witness is Saturn. Can you help to introduce his?
Right, Saturn, you weren't there, right?
I wasn't there for it, but I did briefly see his background, and it was mentioned prior to the trial that the trustee from one of Miles's other case, the bankruptcy case, a legal member that represented that trustee in the past, and I believe he still does represent the trustee. He is the next witness, and I will have to double check.
His name is Douglas Skaka.
Okay.
And he's actually the legal counsel of the, if I don't remember wrong, he's the legal counsel of the company for the trustee himself. He's appointed by the Connecticut Bankruptcy Court. Yeah, and this guy's majorly connect the whole bankruptcy situation to this case.
Right.
He's talked about the loan agreement that from May, Mr. Ma's daughter, with the Himalaya Exchange, like May's company, with Himalaya Exchange company called Himalaya International Financial Capital, some name like that, but it's the Himalaya Exchange company. There's a loan agreement that referred to the $37 million that the government always mentioned from last week, that Jesse Brown mentioned as well, because Jesse Brown said there's a meeting hold on with this subject, and he objection on that, and then it finally went through. So this is the one that actually they brought it up today.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's only because Miles had actually it's from the direct examination. We know the info that Miles had a contract, loan agreement contract with the PAX, the PAX, or PAX.
So is this witnesses from the bankruptcy trustee?
Bankruptcy trustee.
Luke Despin.
Luke Despin,
okay.
or he called Luke Dupont,
okay.
because he correct our pronunciation.
Oh,
Luke
Dupont.
Dupont, yeah,
okay.
Luke Dupont.
Okay, I guess it's French.
It's a French
okay.
name, yeah. Yeah, and they Miles and the PAX had agreement back in 2017. There's a loan agreement, and actually not Miles himself. Miles as a personal guarantor, that if the borrower disappeared or refused to return the money, that those money goes to the guarantor. The obligation goes to the guarantor. So that's what's happening with Miles. Miles actually owned the PAX $134 million through that contract back in 2017. And actually during the time, they actually let the bankruptcy court granted a motion that just to get the Lady May and the Sheraton Netherlands Hotel.
And Lady May is the yacht.
The yacht, as a part of the debtor obligation, or we could say that it's just to return their money with those assets.
Yes, they just seize those assets.
Because,
when you go through a bankruptcy, and you have to know what assets do you have, right?
Yes.
And then they see the
Yeah, those are the public assets.
Right.
They think it's relevant or have interest with Mr. Miles.
Right.
But the time when the court granted this decision, actually, the yacht, it's like, I don't know who moved that yacht, but they said the yacht is out of the jurisdiction. It's actually out of the area that they could control. And then the PAX, after that, the PAX filed another motion or filed another file, just trying to force to get it. And so it turns out the court granted again, and then they let Miles to pay a big fine, that $500,000 per day before he really handed out the yacht.
Right.
So it's a huge fine.
So what is the general picture or the arguments that the government trying to paint?
Well, they actually give people to see a lot of paperwork.
Okay.
See, Miles didn't do this. Miles violate the law. Miles. It's all about what Miles violate in the bankruptcy court, and refuse to to give the yachts to the PACs,
Right.
to a trustee, and that's the background, but they also testified. The witness also testified. They let Miles to pay the fine, $134 million in 5 business days.
That's right.
Yeah, so this is.
Was this something showed in the direct examination or cross?
It's direct examination.
So they have how much they have to pay in 5 days?
$134 million.
And if he failed to pay, he's
yeah. So if he failed to pay, there's more punishment.
Punishment. Okay.
Ahead. Yeah. So this is a crazy time, as we all know. So basically, he connect all the bankruptcy stuff, and then after this, he just put the topic into May's loan agreement.
Loan agreement.
Yeah.
Okay. So how is this connected to? Do you think it's connected to the previous witness that we talked about?
I think, judging on how the bankruptcy case proceeded, I think some of the stuff aforementioned material might have been interconnected, and I think that that's why I kind of wanted to see what's the next information that will come up during the testimony. Maybe we'll find out later today if it was mentioned, and also we will see tomorrow morning, because I don't think we get to cross-examine this witness yet, and I don't think he is done testifying, because here's the thing: this is a witness who is going to bring in another case and kind of overlap it. Okay. So that's why what he's doing now is kind of giving you a background of how things came to be.
Right.
So right now we're talking about the fines and everything. Well, what happens after the fine, right? They're going to start reevaluating some of the assets. So the assets they're reevaluating, I think that is the point of interest they wanted to focus on in regards to this case, because as we have seen before in the past, a lot of these properties, they haven't really been able to connect it back to Miles personally.
Right.
So I think maybe through this case, that is the argument they're trying to make. But again,
this is another case
that is separate, and I think that's also something the government has talked about prior to starting trial today, is to keep the 2 cases separate.
Yes.
Even though there might be some overlaps being presented.
So do you think these 2 witnesses are the so-called medium length witnesses?
I don't know. If they're short or medium, but last week they said they will finish maybe by the Tuesday noon. Right, but today they said they will finish maybe Wednesday noon. So it's another it's another extension.
I remember they claimed that they can't control the cross-examination.
And that's what they're saying. And also for this bankruptcy court witness, like we talked before the show, it's Mr. Miles' personal bankruptcy case.
That's right.
And we all know the Mall Mansion seized by the bankruptcy trustee.
Yes.
So they might try to put those cases together and make a connection that let people think it's a personal asset that is seized from the public.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's like speculation for now. We do have to see as they continue further down this testimony.
Yes.
I think right now they haven't touched upon any of some of the seizures.
Not yet.
I see. So we're coming close to the end of our show. Thank you so much. Is there any comment or question you see in the chat that we think we should answer?
I don't think I see a whole lot of questions for today. Today is relatively straightforward. It's still showing some of the more overlapping evidence within the mansion, Mao Mansion, and some of the properties within the Mao Mansion, right? Like
I lost count of how many witnesses they brought in court to prove this one thing.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot. Probably 8 to 9. Just focus on the mansion.
Well, I hope that the government's witness to the questioning can finish on time, so we'll really look forward to see our defense team's witness and to see what they have to offer in this case, and to what kind of puzzle they're gonna bring in on the table to paint the clear and the complete picture for this case and then for everyone.
Yes. And also one detail I would like to just add on, because I actually forgot about it, is that I believe there's 3 expert witnesses from Miles' side.
Yes.
And I believe there's one more. I know one of the witnesses on the government side should be a cryptocurrency expert.
Yeah.
Not sure when he will show up, but we will see more of that tomorrow, I guess. and looking forward to see what is coming up next, because
Right.
as they start to finalize on the arguments, and also for Miles to begin to make his testimony through his witnesses as well.
Sure. So the 3 expert witnesses are going to be from the defense team, and the government hasn't brought one expert witness yet, right?
Yeah, I think they did plan to bring one
Okay.
who is an expert in cryptocurrency,
Okay.
but we haven't seen anyone.
Okay.
I haven't seen that
Yeah,
witness show.
and one of the witnesses from BitGo, if you guys remember, they
Yes.
tried to push him as use him as a expert witness, but it failed.
It was like mentioned like multiple times,
Yeah.
in sidebar, and that
Yeah.
his testimony cannot
be,
be an expert. Yeah. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Saturn. Thanks, Phil. And please tune in for our next show tomorrow at 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And just to remind everyone that this week there's no court on Friday, so we're gonna have a show from Monday to Thursday at the same time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.